Hello, Alex here with the Prelude team. Today I'm going to go over our first full release of Operator version 1.0. If you are unfamiliar with Prelude Operator, it is our free autonomous security platform designed to help make security simpler and more accessible to all organizations. I'll give you a quick overview of 1.0 first, then we'll dive into some of the core features. Check the video description below for timestamps to skip ahead. Alright, let's dive in. First, let's log in using my Prelude email address. We will grab the authentication token from email and log in. The core areas of Operator 1.0 are the Operate section, the Train section, the Editor section, and the Plugin section. I also have an Operator Professional license, which gives me access to the Reports section, hundreds more TTPs, additional agents, and more custom plugins. Each of these sections has a timestamp in the description below if you want to jump ahead. The Operate section is laid out in a simple way to make it easy to get started deploying adversaries as quickly as possible. The first thing that we'll do is go ahead and minimize this upper tab, which just has some quick introductory materials. The next step is clicking on this big red button. This big red button will automatically generate a new adversary based upon some pre-staged TTPs that we have added. Before we actually deploy our adversary, we can see that we're running inside what's called the home range against what is called Third Eye. Third Eye is just a built-in agent written in Node.js that is part of the actual operator application, and it gives you a really easy way to quickly test TTPs before deploying them onto actual agents in target environments. Now we will actually click Deploy and run that profile against our Third Eye agent. As you can see, the command successfully executed on that target, and if we click into the results, we can see that they are broken out by MITRE ATT&CK tactic and technique, and they also show us the command that was run as well as the output of that command. If I want to run this against a live agent in the field, I can go to Plugins, download the Agent Library plugin, and then click Download on the agent of my choice. I'll head back to the Operate section, actually start the agent on a system, and then we can see that the agent will actually beacon in over a different range, in this case the red range, and the agent is now connected to our platform. Now I can click Deploy, same as we did with Third Eye, and we can see similar results to what was produced with our local agent. Unlike the Third Eye agent, full-fledged agents have the option to send configuration updates to them while they're deployed in the field. Also from this pane, we can review the facts that the planner knows for this particular agent. Also in version 1, we've added a cross-platform interactive shell and the ability to lock and unlock agents, where a locked agent will only run commands if approved by a human operator. As you can probably see, we've streamlined the Operate experience quite a bit since our beta versions moving into our full release. Now let's take a look at the training programs offered inside Operator. When you load the Train section, you're presented with 3 built-in training programs: the Introduction program, Pink Badge program, and the ATT&CK Procedures program. First, let's take a look at the Introduction program. Each program consists of a series of courses where each course has several flags that you have to capture. The flags in the Introduction program are specifically designed around teaching you how to use Operator itself. Some flags might just be verifying your knowledge, whereas other flags might require some kind of action to be completed inside of Operator itself before you can actually complete the flag. Now we'll take a look at the Pink Badge training program. Pink Badge training is an introduction to red teaming for IT and InfoSec professionals looking to dip their toes into offensive security. It consists of weekly courses with audio recordings and various challenges, culminating in a final report that earns a participant a Pink Badge inside of Operator. Finally, we'll take a look at the ATT&CK Procedures program, which is part of our professional license. This training program has courses split out by MITRE ATT&CK tactic, and if you dive into one of the courses, you're presented with flags for TTPs that are actually loaded into Operator. These flags will provide insight into how and when a specific TTP might be used, and if that TTP is supported on the platform on which you're running Operator, you can even test run the TTP locally to see the output of the command in real time. Now let's take a look at Editor. Editor is what we call our TTP integrated development environment. Starting at the top, we organize by MITRE ATT&CK tactic. We also arrange by tags, which are pre-built kill chains and TTPs grouped together by threat groups, objectives, or target sets. These are designed using either open source threat intelligence or based upon past experiences from Prelude security engineers. And you have the option to look through by MITRE ATT&CK technique, but in this case, we're going to go ahead and pop open a random TTP based on tactic. This is the standard interface for working with TTPs. From here, you can very easily create, update, and deploy against cross-platform targets. There's built-in search functionality that makes it easy to find TTPs by keyword. And once you've found a TTP that you want to run, simply click on Deploy, select a target agent, and send the command for execution. Heading back to the main page, the right-hand column provides information about the variable dependencies or knowledge needed in order to run this command, along with what variables might actually be produced by the command. You can also add the TTP directly to an adversary in the Operate section. And you can also see if this TTP is actually similar to any TTPs you already have currently loaded into Operator. Creating a new TTP in Editor is very simple. After you close the other TTP, you click on the plus sign to create a new one. Select the MITRE ATT&CK tactic and technique, along with a name, description, and author. To actually build the meat of the TTP, you put in the target platform, which could be Darwin, Linux, or Windows, along with a executor. In this case, we're using shell. Then you actually write the command, click save, and save the TTP. Now, as you did with the earlier TTP, you can click on deploy and test run it against your local agent. Now that I've built my TTP, if I go down to the similarity section, I can see that my system has already detected that I've written two similar TTPs. This is a very quick way to observe duplicate TTPs so that you can delete them and consolidate TTPs inside Operator. Editor is a great way to design and test attacks without having to leave Operator and jump between applications. The last section we're going to take a look at is the extensible plugin architecture. Operator's plugin system provides extensions ranging from simple theme change plugins to complex, fully integrated plugins like Editor. One of the more important plugins is Agent Library. This is where you can access both community and professional agents in either binary or code formats. Jumping down to Editor, you'll notice the keyword native. Editor itself is actually a plugin in the plugin architecture, so we're able to do very complex plugins that can be fully integrated into the Operator experience. Cloud Plugin is one of the more powerful plugins in Operator. At the end of this video, there's actually a full demo on how to use the Cloud Plugin, so for now we're just going to continue on and take a look at the Toolbox plugin. Toolbox solves the problem of managing Git repositories and keeping them up to date. From here, you can clone your favorite repositories and Operator will handle keeping them up to date for you. In the future, Toolbox will be fully integrated with Operator, allowing you to not only directly clone down tools, but use them as part of your ongoing operations directly out of Operator. That wraps up the overall demo of Operator version 1.0. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope that you learned something new about Operator that you can use in your day-to-day operations. Download Operator off of our website. You can also check out our blog where we post our latest and greatest information and the things that we've been working on. Grab the links in the description below. All right, today we're going to take a look at the Cloud plugin and how you can use the Cloud plugin to automatically provision some redirectors in the cloud and have agents connect back through those redirectors to your Operator instance. In this case, I need to grab my AWS credentials, populate those AWS credentials inside of Operator, and provide a key path. Once I've done that, I can save the credentials, and those will be stored for future use. Now I just want to click Deploy. What that will do is actually trigger AWS to provision a new Linux server in EC2 That Linux server will have what's called Switchboard automatically installed on it. It will also then populate inside the operate section a modal where you can very easily click and connect to those redirectors. You'll notice here that I'm deploying a Windows server, and what's going to be happening with this Windows server is after it gets provisioned in EC2, it's going to install a NUMA agent, and that NUMA agent is going to connect back through the redirector that I've selected. Right now I'm deploying a Linux server to go alongside that Windows server, and all we have to do now is wait. Next, we head over to the Operate section and click on the little tunnel icon. From here, we're presented with the redirectors that we just made available, and I now connect to them. We're waiting for the agents to beacon in, so while I'm doing that, I can click into Switchboard. Switchboard is actually a standalone application. Clicking on the Switchboard application, I'm able to set listeners to any kind of port for any protocol that I desire. Heading back to the main page, I can check and see that I now have had those two agents connect back to my system. So if I click on either one of them, I can go ahead and spawn a shell just to make sure that it is working properly. As we can see, it's working fine with the Linux shell. Go over to the Windows system, pop open a new terminal, and we can see that we've received a PowerShell callback. Clicking on those shell icons actually tasks the agent to do a shell callback, so we can verify that the agent did indeed receive that task, executed it, and then spawned the shell and sent it back to my operator instance. This, in a nutshell, is the redirector and pre-compromised host workflow.